It was a routine flight, a journey like any other. But for the passengers of Eastern Airlines Flight 401, that December night in 1972 would end in disaster. A malfunction in the most unexpected place would cost lives, and the story that followed would become one of aviation's most mysterious and haunted events. Eastern Airlines Flight 401 took off from New York's JFK Airport on December 29, 1972, bound for Miami. It was a state-of-the-art Lockheed L-11 TriStar, one of the most advanced planes of its time. On board were 176 passengers and crew members, all unaware that a small, unexpected issue would lead to catastrophic consequences. As the plane began its final descent toward Miami, the pilots encountered a minor problem. The indicator light for the landing gear failed to illuminate. It seemed simple, just a burnt-out bulb, nothing major. But while the crew fixated on fixing this small issue, something much larger was going unnoticed. Unknown to the crew, the autopilot had been disengaged, and the plane began to slowly lose altitude. The pilots were unaware, too focused on troubleshooting the light. At 11:42 p.m., the unthinkable happened. Eastern Airlines Flight 401 crashed into the Florida Everglades at over 220 miles per hour. The wreckage spread over a vast area, and of the 176 on board, 101 people lost their lives. The swampy terrain made the crash site difficult to access, but rescue workers were able to pull survivors from the wreckage. It was one of the deadliest aviation disasters in U.S. history. Flight 401 would become famous not only for the tragedy, but for what followed after. Stories began to emerge that pieces of the downed plane had been salvaged and reused in other Eastern Airlines aircraft. Soon after, eerie reports started to surface. Pilots, crew members, and passengers began claiming they saw apparitions of the Flight 401 crew, including Captain Bob Loft and flight engineer Don Repo, on flights where these salvaged parts were installed. Witnesses described chilling encounters, ghostly figures appearing in the cockpit, mysterious voices warning of danger, and unexplained mechanical fixes happening mid-flight. These accounts were so numerous that they became impossible to ignore. Some flight attendants even refused to fly on planes with parts from Flight 401. The strange occurrences were investigated, but no logical explanation could be found. Today, Flight 401 remains a somber chapter in aviation history, not only for the lives lost, but for the strange and supernatural stories that followed. Its legacy lives on in the memories of those who survived, and in the mysteries that still linger over the Everglades. A crash that could have been avoided became something much more, a tragedy wrapped in eerie legends. What do you think? Are these ghost stories just flights of imagination, or did Flight 401 leave behind more than wreckage in the swamp? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more stories from history's greatest mysteries.